How's that? You can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate. How are you getting on?
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah, no, going well, thanks.
Yeah, good to see you, mate. Good to see you. First
Yeah,
community call.
I've joined at last, yeah.
Yeah, good on you, mate. Good on you. Good stuff. Good to see
I'm
you.
just
Good.
in the middle of doing my update form for you for
No,
Thursday.
you're.
I've just booked a session with you on Thursday morning.
Yeah, yeah, cool, mate. No dramas whatsoever. No dramas.
I'm a bit
Um,
slow getting to some of these things. I just sometimes just out of mind, out of sight, and
no,
or out of
mate.
sight, out of mind.
I get it, mate. I get it. I
Yeah.
totally get it. It's very, very doable. Ash, Tim, how you getting on?
Going on?
Oh, where am I?
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, mate.
Very well, very well. How's it? Where are you? Are you at the hotel?
We're back home now. We
Oh,
stayed there last night.
oh yeah, nice. Perfect, man.
It was good.
Happy days. How you travelling? Both of you feeling all right?
Yeah, last night was we had a good time, but we didn't do anything crazy with the food. So yeah, we're feeling pretty good. Back into it today.
Happy days.
Yeah, back on track with the eating.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect, man. Good to see you. Dan, Sandra, yous are there as well. How yous doing?
Hi,
Lovely to see you.
Liz.
How are yous? All right?
Yes, good, thanks.
Good to see you. Good to see you. And Jamie, how are you, brother? You're there as well.
Good, mate.
How you getting on?
Yeah,
All right,
very
mate.
good.
How's the week been?
Oh, busy week. Well, last week was busy,
Yeah.
but yeah, just I've gone over a couple of times on like my protein. I didn't know whether that is a
Nah.
problem or not.
Nah, I wouldn't worry about that necessarily.
Yeah,
As long as calories are kind of equated, then wouldn't really worry about that. And in fact, in terms of if you talk about from, and this is probably not the right way to say it. There's probably a better way to say it, but like if I was talking about like going out or like at a barbecue or something like at an event where there's going to be like food on tap pretty much, then if
yeah,
I was going to overeat, then I would go like um I would always like overindulge in protein because that
yeah,
would be you could say that could be technically safer. You safer for I say safer from a caloric perspective. You're more likely to expend or let off more heat at rest. It has the highest thermic effect. You only net 70% of the calories anyway. It has a high satiating effect, so your subsequent decisions would make it less likely for you to then go and overeat on a whole heap of other things. So protein's always like the safest option isn't the best the best terminology for that. But if I was always going to go mad on something, I'll always go mad on a protein. So no, that's cool, mate. All good.
yeah.
Amy, how you getting on? You're there as well. I
I
see.
have I unmuted myself?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good stuff. Yeah, and by the way, first time as well. Usually it takes
Yeah,
people a few goes at it, so
yeah.
no, that's all good. That's all good. How I seen you in the gym today. I tried to shout on you, but you ignored
Oh,
me.
okay.
I had you had your phones in, and then I had to try to give you another wave. And then
Well,
I was like, I had left it up there for a while. I was like, I just need to keep going with this. That is all good. It's all good. How you finding it? Gym and stuff like that, all good?
yeah, good. No, I'm feeling really good about it. Slowly getting my confidence back, which is nice. And I just have those
Yeah,
headphones in and I don't let any outside noise like interrupt me kind of thing. So it's
yeah.
good.
Good stuff. In the zone. Ready to go.
Yeah.
Happy days. Brilliant, brilliant. Does anybody before I rip in to the Power Week, does anyone have any questions? Anything straight off the bat they want me to cover? All good?
Yeah, I've got a question, Lewis.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead. Rick.
So you've been seeing what I've been eating. I've
Yeah.
been like photographing most of my meals,
Hmm.
but my weight is very sticky.
Yeah.
Is it is it possible that I've just sort of reached my natural weight, or is that such a thing?
Uh, no, more likely that there's two sides of the equation. There's your basal metabolic rate, which we really can't do too much about. You can add more muscle mass, but even then, the increase in calorie per kilogram of muscle mass isn't a huge amount. You become a little bit more metabolically flexible, for maybe lack of a better term, when you get a bit leaner, and so then you maybe tend to get away with things a bit more in terms of a bolus, a bolus overindulgence of calories. You can sometimes just get away with it, like you'll let off more energy, you'll let off more heat at rest, you'll fidget more, you'll just generally move more, and you find that you actually expend a lot of those additional calories you may have. So you find people when they get lean and they go for a bit of a binge, or I say a binge, a overindulgence, a meal out, a few beers, whatever it is, and then weigh in the morning. I think Dan will remember the call we had with Cammy, and he's like, few beers, pizza, whatever, and then he's like, I weighed in like 200 grams lighter than I was the weekend before, but like he felt like he had no right to be there. So that, sorry, I got sidetracked there for a second, but there's two sides of the equation: basal metabolic rate and then activity. So your exercise activity, or your activity factor, is a multiplier. So you multiply your basal metabolic rate by that activity number. Sedentary is 1.2, moderately actives, or actives, 1.3, 1.4, moderately actives like 1.5, 1.6, very actives like 1.7 and above, kind of thing. And obviously, if you multiply that basal metabolic rate, the higher the multiplier, the higher your maintenance calories are at. So if your weight is getting sticky at a point, we're at a crossroads. It's either, can we move more, or can we consume less calories? What feels like the least scariest option? Is it reduce 10% of the intake you've had in a day, or move, an extra 2,500 steps, or an extra
Yeah.
half an hour's walk per day, kind of thing?
Yeah, some days I feel like I couldn't eat any less. Like
Yeah,
I'm not eating a lot. I don't feel like I'm eating a lot.
yeah.
So maybe it's just move more. Yeah. And
But
as you know, I have a job where I sit down a lot. So
yeah,
I mean,
that's
I do walk around a bit, but I'm walking maybe to the kitchen to get a glass of water, and it's maybe 50 or 60 steps.
yeah,
You sort of don't even get out of don't even get a puff.
yeah. Nah, and it is, man. Like that's probably going to be the biggest thing. And like if you had, you don't necessarily need to get one. You can guesstimate kind of roughly where that's going to be. But if you had a watch, it would give you an idea of exactly where that is, exactly where
Yeah.
your kind of steps are at. In terms of the data, but at the end of the day, is there wiggle room to add more steps in? And even if it's about reducing food, if you feel like, and this is why it's so important to put as much information in the check-in as possible, because if you feel like, geez, I'm pretty hungry on a day-to-day basis, then it's like, okay, well, let's leverage a little bit things, change things in terms of your meal selection, and let's look to remove calories, but still increase food volume. Replace rice with vegetables. You know what I mean? So you take a cup of
Yeah.
rice out, you add in 2 cups of vegetables. The volume has increased, but the calories have decreased. That's 200 calories straight off the bat that you kind of bank. You do that over, 1 or 2 decisions in a day, and then you increase satiety whilst obviously decreasing calories. So that's your options, or some marry up of those two things.
Okay.
I,
Thanks.
I would say, all right, mate. But just
No worries.
put it all in the check-in this week, and we'll hash it out on the call on Thursday as well. We'll get into a wee bit more detail, but put it in the check-in this week, and we can look at making some adjustments.
No worries. Thanks.
All right, mate. Anybody else ready to rip in?
Good to go whenever everyone else is.
Yeah, all good, all good. All right. So this is no, it's not that. Okay. So this is something that can you all see that? Yeah, everyone see it?
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is something I've had to implement the hard way by making a lot of mistakes in this regard. But it's by no means the finished article. I'm not saying that I know everything here, and I'm more than open for this to be a collaborative session where, you know, everybody can contribute as well. But this is just something that I have found works really, really well. So a power week's where you're operating at your best, not by accident, but by design. It comes with a bit of thought process, it comes with a bit of organization. Habit systems, values is a big thing as well. You know, values is a real important part of this, and non-negotiables that's going to keep you feeling clear, focused, and in control. All right. So let's kind of work through what this looks like. So a power week's where you feel like you're operating at your best, you're ticking off the high value tasks. Now this can be in a work aspect, this can be in a family aspect, like when you're looking at the things that are your kind of core values. This can be in your own health. And there's the things that make you, that you know when you're doing these things, you feel at your best. You know, it could be eating a certain way, moving a certain way, operating at a certain way at your work, feeling deeply inspired and engaged, like the things that you're doing, the high value tasks. You know, when you complete these tasks, it has the biggest return on investment, and that could be from a physical aspect, that could be even in your high value tasks at your work, and not getting caught in the kind of admin type stuff, or allowing your intent to be pulled, or your attention to be pulled away from the high value task or the deep work that you're trying to do. And again, it's about being intentional. So, you know, having a plan and sticking to it, or trying to stick to it in some regard, just having some sort of framework. Like, I'm going to show you the example of what I do. You don't have to do what I do, but it just gives you an example of what that look like. You can find a version of this that works for yourself. I work between my kind of Google Calendar, because I get alerts on my watch, so it'll tell me when certain things are supposed to happen. So if I have been distracted, I kind of get a ping, and I'm like, all right, okay, shit, I'm meant to be doing that next task. And I'm like, I'm not even doing what I said I was going to be doing. So that can be a good thing to kind of break my, if you get caught doing something, scrolling, whatever it may be. And then obviously I write things down as well. I've always been like someone who enjoyed writing things down, and I seem to work better with a task list in that kind of format. So we know what a power week is. So what then would be a low power week? It's reactive, distracted, fucking putting out fires, just jumping from one thing to the other. Next thing, and you have no structure. You don't really feel like you're necessarily achieving anything. You're just kind of, chaos is running your life, basically. Struggling to build momentum, frustrated, or potentially even blaming external factors for that reason, and doing a lot as in you might feel exhausted at the end of the day, but you look back at it and you're like, Jesus, what have I actually achieved here? You know, like in terms of the things, when you, if you do have an opportunity to reflect on it, you might be like, the things that actually are going to move the needle for me the most, I'm not giving any attention to them at all, or I haven't been able to give attention to them at all, because I've been focusing on whatever, or allowing my attention to be pulled by whatever it may be. So defining your own personal power week, because it's going to be totally individual dependent. Everybody's got a different work circumstance. Everybody's got different things going on at their life, but the questions still, the questions still mean the same things to each individual person. If you answer these questions, you'll have a good idea of what that look like. So what does success look like for you in terms of a power week? What are the things that, you know, you might have to do from a personal aspect, that you have to do from, you know, a mindset aspect, a growth aspect? It might be something to do, you know, education with your work. It might be something to do with, you know, education outside that. It might be spending a certain amount of time with your family, and scheduling in time with your family sounds like something like, I don't know, it just sounds like something that you shouldn't have to do. But like in my experience, I've allowed, without clear boundaries, I've allowed, and I have been guilty of this recently, um, like work and other things to kind of creep over and spill into that time. And then it's like, Jesus, I don't have enough boundaries on what I'm doing here. And then, so then, like in terms of running your own business, or doing anything, like anything from a kind of work aspect, there might not be enough hours in the day to ever get everything done ever. You know what I mean? So like you have to put some form of boundary on it, otherwise you're just going to try and keep filling time. And what I've found is, I've been filling that time and maybe getting a lot of stuff done in terms of a work aspect, but the balance hasn't been right because ultimately, I've maybe neglected some time with the family to do that. So identifying when you feel at your best, like when do you feel like you're operating at peak performance? Is it like when I train in the morning, my fucking brain is like switched on, like I'm good to go, like I hit the ground running, I feel really good. I hum through my tasks that I've got up for the day. I've got concentration level, could be even be eating a certain way. If I eat a real high carby meal, a real carby meal, like around about lunchtime, I get that kind of lull in the afternoon, or if I have carbs at lunchtime, that kicks me on. Like it's just being a bit aware and a bit reflective of how things are, and it's the reflection is the bit that we don't do. We never sit down and just kind of go through our day, and that's what I've found. It allows you to just go take account for it and make changes to it there and then, or at least take notes on it and then review it at the end of the week when you're planning out your next week and go like, where can I refine that, or is there something that I could do straight away to be proactive about that? And then when the tasks that that kind of drive progress in life and family and work, whatever it is, that they're the foundations, they're the things that you're going to have to build your week around. So it's good also to have some do's and some don'ts, some things that you really, really know. It should be pretty obvious. There's nothing here that's groundbreaking stuff. I know if I'm in my bed by 9 p.m., I review, reflect, and then I read. So do my diary, plan out the next day, and that's when all this stuff kind of comes in my head. Oh, I need to speak to so and so. By the way, I need to call how I've got that program. I need to do it. Whatever it is, like all this stuff that swims around in your head, you allow that to get that on paper. It's captured somewhere, and your brain's like, cool. I can actually relax because I know you're not going to wake up at 3 o'clock. Or I've personally found I don't wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning thinking, because I'm like I know I'm going to look at that paper in the morning, and it's going to be there, and I'm going to be able to set myself up. Likewise, if I sit and scroll in my bed, or I have a coffee after 1 o'clock, it's going to impact my sleep, which then impacts the start of the next day and how I feel on the next day, which might impact my ability to train first thing in the morning. So then I don't train in the morning. Then it means I'm trying to find a 2 hour window in the middle of the day, or an hour and a half window in the middle of the day to train. And again, something else has to come out if you're trying to achieve a lot in a day. I've found that I need to be a bit more disciplined with my time. So if I train early in the morning, which is something that I always did when I was at work, I kind of stopped doing it for a while. I've started doing it again, and it sets me up for success. The training's done before life can get a hold of me. This is what I found when I worked FIFO as well. Like if I trained in the morning before work, doesn't matter if I had an absolute beast of a day, it was 50 degrees, whatever it is. I just need to go home, go to bed, and go home, get my dinner, and go to bed. Like that. That's it, and get up for the gym the next day. Leaving it later, what I've found, if I try and go, no, I'm just going to do this first, and then I'm going to train at 12. I'm underestimate the time it takes me to do the task, so then I don't get the task completed fully. Then by the time 12 comes, I'm like, right, I need to start training now. I go in there to train. It's a half-assed attempt. I'm a wee bit distracted. I'm not fully tuned in with my training, and it ends up, it wasn't a great spell, a great work block that I had, and it wasn't a great workout that I had. So I got two things done, neither of them done very well. From a nutrition aspect, if I plan out my meals or pre-plan my meals, and have a couple of get out of jail free cards, so I know I've got the heat and eat kind of things there. Worst case scenario, I've got a ready meal or something like that I can pull out and heat and eat. I've always got something that's going to get me out of jam, or even in a different environment. I can get a smoothie from the gym. They have things there. I can go to the if worst case scenario I'm at the servo, I can get two ready to drink protein drinks and a bit of fruit or whatever it is. Like I can make a meal up from anywhere. So I've always got in the back of my mind, if I can make a good decision at the servo, I can make a good decision anywhere. So I've always got a get out of jail free card wherever I am. And that it's about decision. It reduces decision fatigue because it's like if I don't have my meals prepped, I don't have something with me, and I don't have the ability to go and get something ideally that I would like, a heat and eat meal, something like that. I know I just go straight to the get out of jail free card. No decision fatigue, no thinking about it, just go and get it done. And then a bit of prep on a Sunday. Bit of prep on a Sunday just sets us up for a week as a family. Obviously, winging it never works out well for me. And even winging it in terms of retrospective tracking and stuff like that as well, I've just found that doesn't work brilliant with me as well. A working focused work blocks with priorities. So between, you know, 8 and 10, I've got a 2 hour work block. I've got some tasks that I've already set aside from the on Sunday when I kind of what's my high priority tasks for the week, what's the amount of hours I think each one of those tasks are going to take. This is a 2 hour work block. I've got a 2 hour task. I'm going to put that 2 hour task in that 2 hour work block. That's cool. I'm not going to put a 4 hour task in a 2 hour work block. That doesn't make sense to do that unless you break that, you chunk that down and say, I'm expecting to get X amount of done in that time. You have to make the expectation has to be fair and reasonable, and then reviewing it. So every evening I'm like, by the way, I thought I was going to get X amount done in an hour. That actually took me, I only got, I only got one reel edited, or I only got one piece of social media content done in that hour. I was expecting 3. So the next time when I allow time for this, I need to allow 3 hours to do that task, or I need to review and refine what I'm doing currently. Same for whatever else that I've kind of got at play, or whatever else I'm focusing on. Checking my phone before I do any kind of work block, allowing myself to get distracted, leaving notifications turned on, or having my phone near me in any. It doesn't work. Like I just have to take it away, put it in another room, turn off the notifications. I used to do it when I worked FIFO as well, turn off my mobile data and just be like, right, I'm in work mode. I'm just going to go and do my work, focus on that, and then come back. Like the scrolling and stuff like that, I'm sure everybody's kind of found it, that it just distracts you from getting anything productive done. And then you look at your screen time and you're like, Jesus Christ, I've killed myself there. Like I feel like I've got no time, but I've spent 4 hours on my phone a day. Then it's like it's quite clear and easy to see where you could have improved your outcome slightly there. And then just reviewing and reflecting and planning in the evening, rather than going, what am I doing, and waking up in the morning and being like, right now I need to review and reflect and like do that the evening before. It allows me to sleep better. I get a more restful sleep. I feel like I'm more organized. I know I like to be organized. So I hate that feeling of just like constantly chasing your tail. Again, this is my own circumstances. So everybody's different. But this is just an idea that it's going to look different from person to person, but it's just an idea of what this could be. Ending a day without closure, like not reviewing, not writing things down, not, having a bit of gratitude or something like that, like not kind of boxing out the day, like almost going from, if I've worked late, like so say come off this call in the next 10-15 minutes or something, and then if I was to just go and try and jump straight into bed and get like, I need to wind down, I need to decompress and sit and writing things down, planning out my days, maybe almost some kind of journaling, or it feels like a kind of journaling as well. Other things which I'm maybe no the best at with some of these mindset things, and like I said, I'm a student of this as well. I'm by no means an expert at any of this, but when did I make time to actually just sit and think, like gather my thoughts? Ashley was telling me about, or Ashley's sister actually, she gets up at 5:30 and she sits and reads a book. Like she just sits and reads for like half an hour, 40 minutes before the kids get up, and like that's her getting up, getting a wee bit of her time, rather than maybe sitting watching TV in the evening. Like that's a little bit of time to think, or little bit of time to just sit and like decompress, or just sit and allow your brain not to be occupied by something. And if I sit and think about this myself, like I don't leave a lot of time. I'm always doing. Don't really leave a lot of time for just like thinking, reflecting, like without it being in a structured format. So, something to bear in mind. When do I feel my most inspired? A hint here is when I'm doing things that are closely aligned to my core values, to the things that mean the most to me in my life. And I'm going to do another training on values. And you can actually go on. There's a guy, John DeMartini. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he has he's massive in this space. He has a free kind of values training that you can do there. It's like he asks you the questions, you fill it in, and then it just basically gives you a chart and shows you what your core values are. If you're doing a lot of tasks that are linked to those core values, you're going to feel inspired. That's when you're going to feel at your best, when you're doing these high value tasks, things that are aligned to where you want to be, or to your core values. How do I start and close my day? For me personally, starting with some cardio in the morning has been massive. Like, in terms of how I feel so energetic and so awake and alive in the morning, and then closing out the day, like I said, with a bit of review and reflection. And then, how do I treat others when I'm at my best? Every interaction, I want to be a positive one. Like, I feel like everybody should, or for me, a core value is just being a good person, like just a good member of society, like something. He's just a good guy, you know what I mean? Like, or people in my company, people feel like they get something from that. They feel positive for being in my company, or I've had a positive effect on their day. That's something that's a big thing to me as well. So just defining what that looks like, and even things for my family, maybe where I've laxed a little bit as well, in terms of how I've set aside time to do that for my family as well. And when I've been kind of chasing my tail a little bit, I found myself being a little bit more reactive, because I'm trying to cram things in. I don't have any clear boundaries, so then I'm like maybe a wee bit shorter. My patience isn't there as much. And then, in the last few weeks, when I've kind of implemented the boundaries around work and things like that, and when things are happening and when they're not happening, just so much more present, so much more calm, and so much more able to deal with it. Because they still carry on. My kids still carry on the same way that they always do, fighting each other or whatever it is. Like, they can be brilliant, but then sometimes they can be little shits as well. But like, my ability to deal with that improves significantly. So, core values, um, family time, having dinner together every night, no phones, no nothing, anything there. We'll just sit present with the kids, asking favorite part of the day or whatever it is, an opportunity to reflect. Some boundaries around work, having particular start and finish times. Again, this is for me. You can take your own and build your own version of this. Training, 5 morning sessions per week makes me feel excellent. Or, maybe no five's in my program at the moment, but morning training sessions definitely. Sunday meal prep, reflection for the week, and knowing that I'm fueling my body for performance both in the gym and outside of it. That the carryover that the nutrition has in terms of how I perform in the gym. I'm getting in there, I'm getting stronger, getting PBs outside of the gym. I'm feeling like I've got energy to carry out the tasks that I need to be carrying out outside of the gym. I'm not like falling asleep sitting at my desk trying to put educational content together, or try to do check-ins or whatever it may be. And then from a growth aspect, I love reading every single night, listening anytime I'm in a car or I'm doing cardio or whatever it is. I'm listening to something educational, whether it's a podcast, whether it's specific educational content that I've paid for, whatever it is. I'm always trying to fill my head with something, with more information, or more upskilling myself in some way. That makes me feel like I'm inspired by doing that. Like, I love that education. Like I said to you before, like, health and fitness has been the first thing in my life that has something that's like truly lit me up when I read it. I can't read enough. I can't take in enough of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just I love going down the rabbit hole with all that type of stuff. So what does my weekly kind of plan look like? Sunday, just review the previous week. So brain dump all my tasks, high, medium, low priority. So if I was to look at this is an exact. Can you see that sheet of paper?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like this is as technical as it is. Like, this is a thing from this is a bound A4 jotter from Kmart, or wherever, Target, one of these places. I just sit down, like writing down my day, and then it's like, what's my power week? What's the things that I need to do? Schedule content, edit reels, edit carousels, whatever it is. Um, build an exercise library, program updates, some reviews, community call, making sure I'm messaging, touching point with everybody. So these are my high value tasks. How many hours are they going to take, each one of those tasks? And then where does that kind of fit in the week? And then even if I look at, for example, my calendar, like this might be a bit hectic in terms of what's going on here, but like I've got a work block here, a 3 hour work block here. So tonight I'm just going to sit and pick out the highest priority tasks I need to do and put that in that work block, or it might be a couple of work blocks. Then I've got an NDIS client at home. Then I've got another work block. Then I've got another NDIS client. Then I've got another work block. Then I've got another NDIS client in the afternoon. So it's like, where are all these things going to occur? So last week, this was like after my check-ins. This is a work block for the exercise library. This might be a work block for doing some doing some educational content. So I build that into the week, like wherever that looks like, and just start to block things out and then review it on a nightly basis. So if I go here, yeah, so like this is so 5 a.m. up, 5:30 out the door, 6 a.m. train, 7:30 shower and eat, 8 a.m. PT, 9:30 a.m. I had a client progress call, 10 a.m. a meeting, 10:15 I got a 4.5 hour work block for content. So I want to schedule, edit a couple of reels, do a carousel, do a chop up one of these community calls, like whatever it is, a work block break for 10 minutes, then back in work block 2, whatever it is, pick the kids up, family time, then whatever I've got in the evening. So whatever that looks like for you, again, it's going to be different from person to person. This is just an example. Doesn't have to be super technical. Like it's just it's a bit of paper and a list, and then highlighting and writing some notes at the end and review at the end. Work blocking, so setting times for working, 7:30 to 5:30 to 5 p.m. unless I'm working in the evening, and prioritizing the things that need to happen. Training, check-ins, community calls, in-person clients that have still got meal prep, like all my high value tasks, all the things that I know I need to do. There's some non-negotiables in there as well. And then just tracking the time that I said it was going to take versus how much time it actually took. Better awareness, better planning, better results. That's the outcome that we look for. So again, start with the non-negotiables. Like if having a meal together as a family every evening is something that is a core value of yours, it's a core value of mine. I won't book a call in for around 5 to 6 p.m. I might say to Ashley, you might have to put the kids together because I've got to take a call for somebody in the UK. It's at 6:15 or 6:30 or whatever it is. But that family time for dinner, like I'll always make sure that hour's blocked out. And it can't encroach. Nothing can encroach on those times that you block out. If you want your training to be a core value of yours and something that happens every week, block out that time. And training happens every single week because you've blocked it out. Everybody else has to fit around that time. Meal prep happens on the Sunday afternoon, family day on the weekend, and then obviously adding in that high leverage work. There's no hope in here. I designed this so that it does happen. Now, not every single task that gets scheduled happen because you underestimate, overestimate, whatever it may be, but because you're deliberate about it, you review it, you allow yourself an opportunity to go, right, okay, I can do better there, or I can allow more time for that task, or whatever it may be. But it's just about being deliberate on it. So a daily review, what happened, what took longer, why did it take longer, giving myself almost feedback. And then on a Sunday, go through, scan all those notes for the week. Is there any patterns? Can I improve anything on a week-to-week basis? So that's what it looks like. And then it's never a finished article. It kind of continues on. So how you could potentially design your own 1 to 3 things that must happen in your week so your week feels like a win. What do you need to do to feel and perform at your best? 1 to 3 things there, and then set some rules. 3 power week do's, 3 power week don'ts. So it might be putting a timer on your social media. I give myself 25 minutes for Instagram a day or whatever it is. I used to have timers when I worked up north, so I wasn't getting distracted. Like putting some timers, putting some boundaries on things. Starting with those do's and don'ts. And then just reviewing that week, building things out. When are you going to train? When are you going to prep food? When are your high energy work blocks or your deep work blocks? When are you going to shut off and be present? When are you going to have time with your family? When what does that all look like? Putting that in the calendar, then reviewing it. What worked? What blew out? Where the expectations reasonable? What can I adjust for tomorrow? So you get clarity on knowing what matters and why it matters. You take full responsibility for your time and your choices. Anchor every action, every decision, every priority task to something that you truly care about. That comes down to those values, and then just that self-reflection, review, learn, and try and improve on it every single week. That's the kind of gist of what we're looking at here. How was that? I know it was me talking for a hell of a long time. How does anybody have any questions, queries, input at all around that?
That was very informative.
Really? Did you get something from that?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Good.
No, very happy with that. I'm all about core values, so that was right up my alley.
Yeah. Honestly, John DeMartini, on his website, I'm going to take a version of what he does that basically has value questions and just do my own explanation on it. But like that, in terms of where I got it from, it's from him. So if you want to go down the path of from the horse's mouth, you can do that free training from John DeMartini. He's a really clever, switched on guy, and I think he's been doing this stuff for a long time. I've only known about him for a short while. My mum told me about him, or when I told my mum about it, she said she'd heard about him years ago. So he's obviously been going around for a very long time. But yeah, it allows you to get very crystal clear on where your high value tasks are or where the things are that are important to you, and it allows you to kind of put everything through the filter. Every decision, everything that tries to take your time, you put it through the filter, and then it makes those potentially tougher decisions a bit easier. You know what I mean? If you're disciplined by it as well. Yeah.
No, very good.
No problem. Anybody else? Questions, comments, queries, feedback? All good?
All good, thanks, Lewis.
You're very, very welcome.
Yeah, no, thanks, Lewis. That was really good. No, I haven't got any questions. You was pretty well, answered them all as you went. So that was great.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I'm open. I can share my calendar, what I do, scheduling. Like if anybody's got any queries, just send me a message. Like I said, there's nothing crazy. There's nothing groundbreaking here, but it's just something that's like in the last few weeks, this has had a huge impact. Like really, really quick turnaround, and feeling like I was chasing my tail and run about like a fucking idiot, not really achieving much, to like feeling like I was getting more done in less time, and I also had the time for my family to be a lot more present as well, which is something that's incredibly important to me.
Yeah, that's really good.
All good, excellent. Well, if nobody
Okay.
has any queries, questions, concerns, I'll let you go. Thank you all for attending, and I'll speak to you all soon.